The last three videos have focused really on the foundation of protein structure, which is looking at amino acids, their variety, their basic structure, and how they're connected to make a protein. I want to launch our examination of protein shape or conformation by beginning with protein function. One of the things that emerges about proteins very quickly is that they are multifunctional macromolecules. They serve a lot of different functions in cells. So, for example, some proteins act as catalysts, speeding up chemical reactions and maintaining cell chemistry. Others are motors. They create movement of the cell or movement of things around the cell or movement of things by the cell. Other proteins serve as building blocks for major structures in the body. For example, if you're familiar with collagen, collagen's a major structural component of majority of connective tissues in the body, and it's a protein. Other proteins are used as storage devices, either in simple terms for amino acids or in more complex terms as tools for storing other substances in the body. Many proteins function as transporters. This can mean transporting something from point A to point B within the body, or from one side of a cell to another, or even just getting in and out of the cell. Other proteins act as signal molecules. This idea came up with steroid lipids, that certain steroids act as signal molecules. Well, many proteins do as well, and a lot of proteins act as receptors for signals, whether those signals are from other proteins or other molecules like steroids. So proteins are very intrinsically important to signaling in the body, and other proteins act as defenders. And there's a lot of examples of this, but if you've heard of antibodies, they're a type of defensive protein that we have. And this isn't an exhaustive list, and I hope you caught the nuance that some of these categories like transport and building block and storehouse can have many different features to them. The bottom line is proteins have a lot of different functions. And the only way a single group of molecules can have many functions would be if they have extremely complex shapes or conformations. So simply stringing a bunch of amino acids together in a polypeptide using peptide bonds does not a protein make. In the next 4 videos, what you're going to see is an examination of the 4 typically identified levels of protein organization. I say typically identified because, again, some authorities like to identify sub-levels within this core group of 4. We're going to focus on the big 4, which will be the primary structure, which will be each protein's unique amino acid sequence, its secondary structure, which is folding of that primary structure that's related to the backbone of the protein. We'll talk about what that means momentarily. The tertiary structure, which involves folding of the secondary structure related to side chain interactions, and the quaternary structure involving the joining of multiple polypeptides to each other via their side chains to form a final functional protein. We're going to go through each of these 4 levels, and I hope you can already spot a key word on the screen. The rest of protein chemistry is going to be dominated by one word: folding.